FIFA and Infantino draw bipartisan skepticism ahead of the World Cup for June 11, 2026. Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard maintains close cooperation with United States in fight against drug smuggling. Ms. Hodge is speaking about Caribbean people who are still peaceful. The success of DOIT SXM 2026 was not measured only by the work completed. From the island, Sint Maarten, this is SXM Daily News for June 9, 2026. The tiny Caribbean island of just over 150,000 people and covering only 443 square kilometers, 171 square miles, will become the smallest country ever to compete at a FIFA World Cup when the 2026 tournament kicks off on June 11th. Dozens of mayors and other city leaders gathered in the ballroom of a Washington hotel on a snowy January morning this year, gripped by anger and anxiety about the federal government's increasingly aggressive immigration enforcement operation that included the killings of 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis. And then FIFA President Gianni Infantino took the stage. For the first time in 250 years of history of the United States of America, well, you will not just be invaded, but you will be conquered, he said, as the audience at the National Conference of Mayors largely reacted with silence. The FIFA World Cup? This was meant to be a clean tournament, after controversies over alleged slavery and sports washing at previous events. But the U.S. president and his anti-migrant policies have again clouded the world's biggest sports event with concerns about human rights. And FIFA is right in the middle of it. FIFA's president Gianni Infantino claims politics should stay out of sports, but also wore a MAGA cap, gave Trump a so-called FIFA Peace Prize, and joined his Board of Peace. Now, as millions travel to North America and billions watch on TV, we look beyond the glamour of the game to look at the Trump effect on the World Cup.
My father's eyes, my mother's smile, a dream I didn't understand. No money, no shoes, no perfect pitch, just a wall and a broken gate. But something deep inside me said, this is your moment, don't wait. Every scar, every fall, every tear on this road was building the fire. Across the broken field, her lungs burn, her legs won't stop. 10,000 miles from everything, but she's playing for the top. He watches from a hospital bed, the game flickers on the screen. He whispers score, and somewhere out there a striker knows what he means. Every scar, every fall, every tear on this road was building the fire. This game never promised you easy. It only promised you real. The mud, the rain, the final minute pain, that's the most alive you'll ever feel. And when it's over, win or lose, you'll look across that field and see yourself in every face. That's the truth this game reveals. On fire, burning where no one can see. One game that set every dreamer free. From Mexico to Montreal, we bleed the same. We love the same. Beautiful game. One fire, higher, higher. In the chest of every child. Every child. Every street, every mile. One world. Let's go. One fire. One fire. One game. One game. One world. Let's go. Whoa. Let's go.
The Customs Department proudly reflects on yet another remarkable and inspiring participation in the 2026 SXM initiative. Once again, our dedicated officers and staff stepped beyond the boundaries of duty and uniform to extend their hands, hearts, and strength to organizations and communities in need. For 2 powerful days, members of the Customs Department demonstrated the true meaning of voluntary service, unity, and social responsibility. With unwavering commitment and pride, our officers invested their personal time and energy to uplift others, proving that service to the community does not end at the workplace, it lives within our character and spirit. This year's edition carried an even deeper meaning, as we were honored to have our Dutch counterparts join us in these meaningful activities. Together, side by side, we built more than projects. We built connections, friendships, and cultural bridges. Outside the formal atmosphere of work, we shared experiences, laughter, teamwork, and mutual respect, strengthening the bond between our 2 cultures in a truly unforgettable way. The success of SXM 2026 was not measured only by the work completed, but by the unity, compassion, and dedication displayed by every participant. Your willingness to serve selflessly reflects the core values of the Customs Department: integrity, solidarity, commitment, and humanity. On behalf of the management team of the Customs Department, we extend our deepest gratitude and sincere appreciation to every officer, worker, and volunteer who participated. Your contribution made a lasting impact, and your actions continue to inspire pride within our department and throughout the community. We are honored and proud to support and encourage all of you to remain actively involved in social and community activities, because together, we are not only protecting borders, we are building a stronger, united, and caring society. Thank you all for your passion, your sacrifice, and your unwavering spirit. Together, we continue to make a difference.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless, Request your My SZV account today and enter the virtual office of SZV. Go to szv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
The Hague. Cooperation between the Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard and United States security agencies remains a cornerstone of efforts to combat international drug trafficking in the Caribbean. While answering questions on the Coast Guard's 2026 operational plan, Dutch Defense Minister Dylan Yshilgers-Zegerius emphasized the organization's continued focus on intelligence-driven operations and regional partnerships designed to counter organized crime and narcotics trafficking. The Dutch Caribbean occupies a strategic location between South America, Central America, and North America, making the region a key transit corridor for cocaine shipments destined for the United States and Europe. For decades, the Coast Guard has worked closely with U.S. authorities, including the U.S. Coast Guard, Joint Interagency Task Force South, JIATF South, and other American security agencies. Through these partnerships, intelligence is shared, maritime surveillance is coordinated, and joint operations are conducted throughout the Caribbean basin. Aircraft, patrol vessels, and radar systems operating from Curaçao and Aruba frequently contribute to multinational efforts to detect and intercept suspicious vessels transporting narcotics. The importance of intelligence gathering is expected to increase further in 2026 as the Coast Guard continues its transition toward a more information-driven operational model. According to the Dutch government, expanding intelligence capabilities is considered essential to identifying trafficking networks and supporting interdiction operations. The continued cooperation between the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the United States comes at a time when transnational criminal organizations are using increasingly sophisticated methods to move drugs through Caribbean waters. Unity and Solidarity TV program, Caribbean Labor Union, with keynote speaker, President of the Anguilla Civil Service Association, Ms. Susan Hodge, speaking about because we, as Caribbean people, are still peaceful. It's the outside influence that is coming in that is trying to destroy that peace. When we look, the world has become a violent place. And not just the Caribbean, the world. When you see different things popping up in different areas, you're wondering why this is always a peaceful area. I don't know what to call it, but there's a blanket of violence across the world. And we need to center ourselves on peace. Now I know when you talk like that, people think that, oh, you're trying to be righteous.
I think so for the most part, yes.
Yeah, explain.
Because we as a Caribbean people, we are still peaceful. It's the outside influence that is coming in that is trying to destroy that peace. And I think that when we look, the world has become a violent place. And not just the Caribbean, the world. When you see different things popping up in different areas, and you're wondering why this was always a peaceful area. I don't know what to call it, but there's a blanket of violence across the world, and we need to center ourselves on peace. Now, I know when you talk like that, people think that, oh, you're trying to be righteous, you're trying to be this.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that. It's that you have to protect your mind. I mean, there are so mental health is a major part of my psyche, how I try to deal, how I use music to help with stress. And I think that we need to give our young people coping mechanisms. We need to give our adults coping mechanisms. We are Technology is making us. Just yesterday I had a conversation with a friend about, I think there's something now you can get a machine that massage, like if you have stress in your shoulders, before somebody would massage you, now there's a machine that can do that. So what is technology? If we embrace technology fully, we are becoming alone. That social interaction, that conversation, like we are having a conversation now, and look, we're using technology to have it, but we are still having a conversation. And we have to rule technology. We can't allow technology to rule us. That is what I think, and I think a lot of people are allowing technology to rule them. Oh, I can get this done using technology. Let me go ahead and do it. Forget about somebody else. We had in some cultures still, elders are revered. In many of the modern societies now, go to the side there. It's not your time now. It's a new time. But what they learned, or what they know, can help us now, and we need to remember that. We need to don't throw away everything. That there are certain things that we need to embrace and remember. History, we have to think about history. History repeats itself,
Yes.
and we can see how history repeats itself. And when you look at, people are seeing history repeating itself and sitting down and saying history is repeating itself and doing nothing from stopping history repeat itself. What does that say about us? It means that we never learned the lessons. Or as long as it suits us, then we're not going to rock the boat because I feel that I'm going to get something out of it at the end. Forgetting that you as an individual, or you as your family, or you as your community might get something. But what about the people who are next door? And when those people are marginalized and they can't get what they need, who are they coming for? They're coming for the people who have. So I think that trying to get, there's always going to be inequality, but as long as we can try and get things as equal as possible, then we're in a good stead, I think.
Minister Plenipotentiary Dr. Anders Gracita Arendel attended the official opening of the Interparliamentary Kingdom Consultation, IPKO, at the House of Representatives of the Netherlands in The Hague. The consultation, which took place from 5 to 8 June 2026, brought together parliamentary delegations from Sint Maarten, Curaçao, Aruba, and the Netherlands to discuss issues of shared importance within the kingdom. During the opening session, Minister Arendel met with members of the Sint Maarten delegation. She also spoke with several parliamentary representatives, including Paul Rosenmüller, Chair of the Senate Committee for Kingdom Relations, QRL, and Dr. Rachnilde Arduin, a prominent member of the Committee of Experts on the Democratic Deficit within the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Throughout the consultation, delegates discussed a range of topics of shared importance, including aging populations, climate change, democratic participation, and cooperation within the kingdom. The program also included a visit to the initiative De Buurt als Ecosysteem in Haarlem, and discussions on citizen involvement in climate policy through the National Citizens Assembly on Climate. The consultation will conclude on 8th June with the adoption and signing of the agreements list and a joint press conference. Since its establishment in 1970, the IPKO has served as an important instrument for direct communication and personal engagement between parliamentarians across the kingdom. By bringing together elected representatives from all 4 countries, the consultation contributes to mutual understanding, stronger cooperation, and the exchange of experiences on issues that affect citizens throughout the kingdom. The Cabinet of the Minister Plenipotentiary welcomes the continued dialogue and cooperation fostered through the IPKO and looks forward to the outcomes of this year's consultation.
Now for the weather forecast. Tonight, variably cloudy. Wednesday morning, partly cloudy to cloudy. Isolated showers are likely. Surface winds, tonight through Wednesday midday. Easterly with a light to gentle breeze between 4-12 mph. State of the sea, calm to slight waves, swells, up to 3 feet outlook through Thursday midday. Partly cloudy to cloudy with isolated showers, and now your 3-day forecast.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social health insurances.
At times, these meetups have turned violent, putting officials on edge as schools across the nation let out for the summer. How are cities responding? Some have been enforcing or strengthening youth curfews, which require residents under 18 to be home after a certain time. But research shows curfew laws overall are not effective at reducing crime. Lily Robin, a senior research associate at the Urban Institute, said many teenagers who attend a takeover are just looking for things to do and aren't finding many alternatives. She talks with PBS News' Tim McPhillips about what's behind the trend and what works when it comes to curbing takeovers and limiting crime.
Teen takeovers have some cities on edge.
Serious, violent, and chaotic
Teen takeover trend.
The latest in a string of violent melees known as teen takeovers.
Another so-called teen takeover.
The trend where teens coordinate on social media to show up at the same place at the same time has turned violent in some places, from Tampa to Chicago, where a teen drove his car into a group of police officers, injuring 5.
Oh my God, he just hit a lot of police officers.
But let's take a step back. How did these takeovers begin, and how are cities dealing with them?
They're really just gatherings of teenagers at a specific time and location. It seems like they're really just looking for places to have fun and socialize with their peers in the evenings and weekends.
That's Lily Robin, Senior Research Associate at the Urban Institute. As school lets out for the summer, city leaders are concerned the takeover trend could spread.
This is not the time for you to ruin your future by doing something that just doesn't make any sense at all.
Parents, if you don't control your kids, the district will.
While some of these takeovers have indeed turned violent, they aren't all that way.
Evidence doesn't really support the idea that teen takeovers should be characterized as violent events.
Large gatherings do inherently increase the risk of crime. So cities are trying to figure out how to respond, like anticipating crowds and increasing police presence.
Looking at social media to see if an event is planned and then having police be deployed in response to it where the event will be taking place.
But how to respond beyond that has become a political football, even reaching the Oval Office. One solution, enforcing or strengthening youth curfews.
Youth curfew just means that at a certain time of the day, youth are not supposed to be outside.
Some cities already have standing curfews for youth. Depending on the day, Atlanta's is at 11 p.m. or midnight. Chicago's 10 or 11 p.m. Washington, D.C. has gone a step further, creating new curfew zones in takeover hotspots.
The curfew zones are specific areas where they'll often have something as early as like an 8 p.m. curfew.
But there's an issue.
The research on youth curfews shows that they're actually really ineffective at reducing crime and victimization.
There have been arrests at teen takeovers on charges from disorderly conduct to gun possession.
The presence of a large group of teenagers can increase risk-taking and can escalate conflict among them.
But
it's not typical in most cities that they're actually being arrested for curfew violations.
For the majority of teens who perhaps just showed up because it was something to do, responding with police can have harmful effects on their mental health, or even escalate the situation.
Increased contact with law enforcement can lead to a number of negative outcomes like reduced educational attainment, poor physical and mental health, and increased future offending.
So what really works?
First thing that cities should do is talk to the teenagers in their city and see how they feel about curfew and what they would rather see as an alternative.
At a recent DC Council hearing, dozens of teens testified on the curfews, police presence, and what they want to see.
Teen takeovers in the DMV don't just happen randomly. They often come from boredom, lack of safe spaces, and feeling unheard.
How can you all set curfews and then not have teen-specific spaces for us and then wonder why we are outside?
In essence, cities use curfews in an attempt to curb takeovers and prevent violence. But that doesn't solve for the reasons of why hundreds of teens gather in the first place.
They just want safe, fun places to go that are accessible to them and open when they want to be there.
And when it comes to charging parents with crimes, like U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Janine Pirro has said she will do,
evidence shows that promoting positive family function through things like family therapy or parenting programs, those types of interventions are much more effective than parental criminal culpability.
For PBS News, I'm Tim McPhillips.
This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.